Hi everyone, my name is Julie Crudell and this is my presentation on Chapter 6, Interpersonal Communication Processes. Interpersonal refers to something that involves several different people and communication is the exchanging of information. This chapter covers the process of how to communicate with other people and the factors that go into it. To start off, here are a few key terms that will be important throughout the chapter. Competence is the ability to do something successfully or as efficiently as possible. Schemata, especially relationship schemata, can be defined as blueprints that know the inner workings of a relationship. These terms will be important in the first part of the chapter. Individualistic culture is the process of emphasizing individual identity, where collectivistic culture prioritizes in-group identity and values conformity to social norms. Next, emotional contagion is the ability of emotions to be expressed from one person to another, almost as if the emotions are contagious. Lastly, for the fourth section of the chapter, self-disclosure, or the purposeful disclosure of personal information to someone else, will be important. Another concept from the chapter that is spoken about is the Johari window, which is a theory applied to a variety of interpersonal interactions. These terms will all come full circle throughout the chapter. Starting off with 6.1, Principles of Interpersonal Communication, it is important to study interpersonal communication in order to improve relationships and become more comfortable in social settings. This is also a strong skill that is sought out by potential employers. It's important to understand how interpersonal communication can improve lives. You can begin by thinking about what motivates you to communicate with someone. This can be to achieve goals, to improve relationships, or even something simple like organizing a party for a friend who's celebrating a big accomplishment. A good way to understand communication motivation is with the defining the relationship talk or DTR talk. This can help people define their relationships, set boundaries, set goals, and establish a good structure. A benefit of this is developing cultural aspects of relationships. This creates a unique connection between people. It can help you feel closer to your friends, family, and coworkers and allow you to feel a sense of belonging. In section 6.2, interpersonal conflict is defined as interactions where people are unable to agree on goals or viewpoints. This is something that will always happen in relationships, and although it can be productive, it's important to know how to handle it. Understanding the management style of yourself and those you're in communication with is crucial. The 5 strategies or conflict patterns are often referred to as competing, collaborating, compromising, avoiding, and accommodating. Recognizing these can improve relationships and allow you to understand what the other person is feeling and how to help. Everyone feels differently, so resolving issues is better than allowing conflict to escalate in the form of arguing. This can also be influenced by the culture, where in some countries people focus more on their individual identity and self reliance, whereas in other countries, group identity is valued and conformity is very important. And all of these factor into understanding conflict between a group of people. 6.3 focuses on emotions, which are the psychological reactions to stimuli. There are primary emotions that are experienced for a short period of time, such as joy or sadness. There are also secondary emotions which aren't reflexive, such as romantic love for a person or jealousy throughout a situation. These emotions can develop into attachments if they're not managed properly. For example, avoidant attachment style is when people can develop and lose feelings of love very quickly, or they have a deep fear of bonding. Not only do you need to know how to communicate your feelings, but you also need to understand the emotions of others and how to react accordingly. This is defined as emotional intelligence or the ability to monitor one's own feelings and others' feelings, which can often help them to guide their actions. Lastly, section 6.4 talks about self-disclosure and understanding how much to communicate with others depending on the relationship. Sharing information with others can have a positive effect on the relationship, but oversharing with someone can lead to embarrassment or hurting of the relationship. One theory of self-disclosure is the social comparison theory, which is something that most people can relate to, which is when we compare ourselves to others based on information we know about them. This information can allow us to figure out if we're interested in pursuing a relationship and develop an opinion on their personality. Making these decisions is crucial, and it's important to understand how to decide where and when to give information to another person. One example of interpersonal communication that I handle on a daily basis is when there is a quality issue at my job. This means that the components that we use to manufacture medical devices aren't fully up to standard. I have to evaluate with the people on my team about this, as well as discuss with the vendor that we buy supplies from. We all work in teams to find the root cause of the problem and how to solve it. Sometimes this is difficult as everyone has different opinions, emotions, and thoughts. Together, we need to work together as a group to make the necessary changes to improve the company. At the end of the day, we all remember that we have the same goal. And strengthening this ability to understand and execute interpersonal communication is a crucial trait to have as a developing student and worker.